E360 TV proudly presents messages of inspirational stories. Live streaming now to millions of devices, including Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, with your host, Donna Guinois, producer and host, Jim Grant, producer and host, along with Michaela Vidal, administrator and host, and Gaia Guinois Balconi Wada, editor-in-chief. And welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Messages of Inspirational Stories is proudly brought to you by the good guys at the 6minutewebinar.com. At 6-Minute Webinar, I'll tell you what, anytime I want to prepare a speech, or if I want to prepare something of a marketing thing on a product, I use the 6-Minute Webinar because it really gets your thoughts organized and really focused in on what's in it for the folks out there that's interested in your product or your service. And we highly recommend it. It's 6minutewebinar.com. You'll be seeing the marquee on it also. And today we have our guest. She's our guest and our host. She didn't know she's going to be. She thought we were going to have a guest here too, but she is the guest host. And we're so glad to have Beata. I'm going to let you pronounce that middle name there. Seweryn-Reid?
Very well. Beata Seweryn-Reid, right.
I got that right, huh? Well,
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, I'll just sit back and take a break and let you just run the show.
Okay.
But realistically, would you be kind enough to share with the folks out there in TV land a little bit about you, where you came from, your background? Because I know you are a girl that came from, let's see, you were across the pond there, weren't you?
Yeah. Do we have that much time to talk about that? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. I'm really happy to be here with you. And I'm right now in US, but I originally come from Poland. And I know you couldn't guess by my accent, because my accent is typical for Colorado, right? So I came from Poland, oh my goodness, like 11 years ago. And it was I was numerous time already in US, but the last time when I came and then permanently stayed was 10 years ago. And I started as every immigrant, I would say, just a regular job in hospitality. I loved service, always loved service, customer service. So I had multiple jobs until I became manager and got into leadership, and it's what got me to thinking, what could I do better? And I took steps towards it and got the information from others, like what would you improve here? What is missing? And I got into coaching and then speaking, and here I am today. I'm the founder of Lead from Within Speaking and Consulting. I help leaders all levels to develop themselves from the inside out. Because, I noticed that too many of us as leaders, we are looking outside for something that can be created only from within.
Yeah. A couple of questions I'd like to ask you. Number one, how much English did you know when you left Poland and first came to the United States?
In my opinion, at that time, I thought that my English is awesome because I was recruited here. So I had conversation with the employer that hired me when I was in Poland. So if I went through interview, my English is really good. But then when you come to this country and you hear all different accents and you are like, excuse me, what did you say? So I had to level up my English. But the best way to learn is to actually do it, and being every day with clients, colleagues, other employees and
Oh, yeah.
educating myself. It helped me
Sure.
a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I would say, to be honest, I would say I'll be always learning English. There are still words that I have no clue what they
Oh,
mean, so I have to go and
don't feel bad, because I tell you right now, my wife and I, we play a word game in the morning, and there's some words that come up and I go like, what is that? I don't know. But what's really interesting, and I know you folks out there, that speak English and hear others, all the accents and things like that. When it comes to someone speaking English from England, I have to slow down and really listen to what they say, because their accent and some of their expressions are not normal or common that I would normally hear. Let me put it like that.
But Jim, did you ever talk to Jamaicans? Because at that time
Oh yeah.
when I came and it was with a lot of
Oh
students,
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
had a lot of Jamaicans friends,
Yeah.
and sometimes I had to like, okay, guys, what country? Like, this is not English. Like, what you're saying? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
man, what's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I had to learn this
Yeah.
dialect.
When I was an instructor in the military, we had an instructor. He was from Trinidad, and he had a light voice, and he was just kind of like tweeting words. And it took me a while to develop an ear to understand what he was
Yeah.
saying. And it really is amazing. The main thing in communicating, especially when there's such differences as far as comprehending what you're saying. If you're a speaker, or if you're a coach, or if you're delivering a message to someone, when you're talking about your product or your service, make sure you slow down enough and pronounce the key words phonetically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
When I'm getting ready for getting on a stage, oh my God, I practice a lot, and it's like in slow motion.
yeah, yeah. Just like you might see on this cup, it says coffee, but
Yeah.
inside of this cup, and I'm going to just share something with you folks out there in TV land. Inside of this cup, it's not coffee. It's actually homebrew. I brewed this myself. No, this is dandelion tea. And I went to see my cardiologist on Wednesday. Emerson and I, we talked a lot about dandelion tea on the Tuesday show. Because on our Tuesday show, that's the show about finding health naturally. And Wednesdays, of course, is mentoring our youth. Thursday is our fun one, pets we love. And of course, today, Fridays is all about women in leadership. And but I went to my cardiologist on Wednesday, and he did an EKG on me, and I mean, it was just like perfect, perfect little spikes, like little, needles or something, scratching on the paper. There wasn't any, jagged edges or anything like that. And he was really impressed with me, and he asked me if I was still taking the statins, and I told him no, because they just didn't make me feel good. And so, ladies and gentlemen, do your research on dandelion tea. I drink 2 cups a day, one in the afternoon, one before I go to bed at night. And it enables me to sleep more sounder, and I sleep about a half an hour to an hour longer at nights. But it really helps the heart. It also helps reduce inflammation. And I want to share that with you as kind of like a nicety to know. Nicety, it is a nice tea, but I wanted to share that with you because it's so valuable. And just type in dandelions for health in your search engine, and do your own research and make the right decision for you. But I wanted to share that with you because the cardiologist and we're going to get on a 90-day program where I go in and have my blood, do the lab work, and we're going to see how the triglycerides are coming down and all that. So that's the proof in the pudding. But today, this is the initial broadcast of Beata being with us as helping us host here on the TV show. We're very excited about having her here. And also, she is a tremendous leader. Let me put her website up there again. She is a leader. She is a coach. She is a speaker. BeataLifeCoaching.com, as you see there, BeataLifeCoaching.com. And when it comes to let's just reach out to the ladies in our, because we're about 70% ladies in our audience. When it comes out to speaking to ladies about being a leader, share with us, if you would, Beata, what does it mean to you personally to be a woman leader?
Ah, I don't think that I would separate women from men, but
Hmm.
we are all human. It's how I look on being a leader. Just be a human. So
Hmm.
don't forget where you came from, where did you start, and
Good point.
if you go on that mission, remember why you took that title. Because I noticed that many, and it's both women and men, when they grow up in their career and they get this title leader, something changes sometimes in them, and they become these ugly bosses that you don't really want to be around.
Mm.
Because I always love that you put this title, you tie the tie, and it's choking you, but you know you
Yeah.
become like you forgot what is to be
Hmm.
just human, this person that understands where you came from and where the other person is coming from. Don't think that you are something better just because you received title.
Oh, yeah. I remember two things I like to share with the audience. When I first became a sergeant, and I retired as a master sergeant E8 in the Army, but when I first put the sergeant stripes on, an NCO who had been around much longer than I had, he took me aside and he says, "Remember now, you are no longer, the typical enlisted man. You're not a specialist, you're not a private, but you got to set a standard. And when you set that standard, remember one thing, don't ever forget where you came from, how you felt when you were a private or a specialist." And I never have forgotten that. And that was really wise advice for a young buck sergeant, as we call them. And then I heard Joe Theismann of the Washington Redskins. They were on strike in the year they went 8-1, and then they won their first Super Bowl. But when they were on strike, they couldn't get anything from the coaches. They couldn't communicate with the coaches. So Joe took it as on his own to draw up these 7-on-7 game plans and plays and stuff like that. And because he wanted to be ready when the strike was over, he wanted the team to be ready. And he made a very interesting comment. He says, "What I learned about leadership during that time, leadership is not, hey, you do this because I said so, or you follow me because I said so. Leadership is getting people to believe in the same principles and goals that you do." And that just says communication all over, because that's one of the keys about a good leader is having good communication.
Absolutely. And I would add that leaders, by definitions, are change makers, right? So you have to show your people why the change. And look, this word, like we are going through crazy changes all the time. So show your people that change that is coming, you will be right there with them. We're going to figure this out together. So walk your talk by showing. Yeah. So you can tell me whatever you want, how great you are or what I'm supposed to do. But if I see as an employee or family member, because I think Jim forgot that leader is not only in the corporation or it's you and me every day, every morning when we wake up, we look in the mirror and we should ask, who is leading that person? So you,
Yeah.
me, the neighbor, the mother, the father of the family, we are all leaders. So walk your talk, and communication is also the very important
Yeah, you're exactly
skill.
right, because we eagerly forget or overlook, at least I overlook it. I don't pay any attention to it, to be honest with you. But so many people, they look at you, they see how you react, they see what you do, and they determine whether or not you're the kind of person that they want to pick up some of the positive traits or not be anything like you, depending on whether it's good or bad. And I don't really think of it like that in I say that because I went to a family reunion and I hadn't seen this person in about 20 years. And he popped off with, "Oh, wow, so good to see you. I remember you, man, when you were doing it, you did this." And I'm standing there and I'm thinking, I think he's got me confused with somebody else. And then he started talking about some of the other things. Oh, yeah, I remember that. And, oh, yeah, man, every time I think of you, I think of that. And I thought, wow, it wasn't anything bad. It's just that when he was talking about all these wonderful things, I'm thinking, who is he talking about? Can't be me. Oh, my goodness. But being a leader is really a wonderful position to be in. It's a position of honor, is what it is.
And it's very challenging.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And how did you decide, well, I'm going to migrate and I'm going to become a leader and I'm going to coach people and I'm also going to be a public speaker, which you're a great one. You've done all kind of talks on stages and things. And you've even had Les Brown on your podcast, hadn't you? Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was really good. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you have to surround yourself with leaders, right? So that's why I'm here with you. So, oh, he's like, what is she talking about?
Yeah, yeah. I better behave myself.
And going back to your question, how did I decide? Well, I would have to take you back a little bit in my childhood where I had a car accident and very shortly, I had a car accident, traumatic brain injury, and basically I was told that I won't ever achieve anything. I was told that probably if I finish any school or I do survive in my life, I shouldn't dream big. Just stay where you are and pay attention to your health, like live day to day. It's basically like a vegetable, yeah, like you are a veggie.
Yeah.
And
wow.
as a child, thank goodness, as a child, and having a very wise mom at that time, I didn't believe them. I was a child. I was like, what does it even mean? Like, don't run, don't watch TV, don't do this, don't study too hard. I was doing everything what they say do not do. And I was proving myself, not actually them, that they are wrong. I was proving myself that I can. And it was the beginning of my leadership. And I remember I was talking to my mom one day and I said that I don't like what they say. What does it mean that I won't be able to achieve anything? So I will be, I called it, am I stupid? Like, because I'm not, they call it that you never will be normal. So I was like, well, I'm not normal. What does it mean, mom? And my mom said, their opinions doesn't matter. What's matter the most, it's you and what you decide about your life. You are your own leader. You take responsibility for yourself. You lead yourself wherever you want, but only you can do it. So she encouraged me to prove again to myself what I can achieve, where how far I can go, and it's what I was doing. And this, little voice sometimes was there. You are not normal. When you fail, do mistake, and something is not going your way, it's like, oh, I'm not the greatest leader. I fail, and you are not normal. But then I was like, heck, what? I'm gonna tell what is my norm. I don't believe you people. Don't tell me what to do. And so this in going back also to one of your earlier questions, this is the leader. Leader needs to go her or his own path. Like no matter, you have to listen. You have to adjust sometimes, but no is not an option. You have to find a way, and you will find a way, and you will follow your desire, your goal, no matter what. And it's how I got where I am. It wasn't easy to become a speaker with accent, right? So like, who's gonna listen to me? But then, well, let's go and see. So test it. So I was testing how far I can go, and I'm still testing myself.
Oh, yeah, that's so important because one of the things that I tell people who's going to speak on stage or anything like that, just be yourself. I mean, I use country boy expressions because that's who I am. I grew up on a farm in North Carolina, and you folks that follow the TV show have heard me say many times, because it's true. I didn't know we were poor till we went to town. It's very true. But what we were rich in were the things that money could never buy and no thief could ever steal. And my dad was faced with a very difficult situation one time. He almost got electrocuted at the power. He used to climb poles. He had 72,000 volts hit him and knocked him off the pole. And he almost died from that because his heart stopped 3 times in the ambulance. And I snuck into the hospital. This was in 1954. I was just a little bitty guy. And I snuck into the hospital and I saw my mother and facing away from me. And she was standing there talking to the doctor. And he was saying, you've got to prepare yourself because he'll probably never walk again. He'll be in a wheelchair. He will advance to crutches, of course, and maybe a cane, but you've got to prepare yourself now.
Yep.
And so me being a little kid, I just couldn't, that just didn't. Kind of like, that can't be true. So I saw my dad over there and I walked into the room. Now, this is just a small hospital there in Shelby, North Carolina. So they didn't have security or anything back then because people weren't running around, doing crazy things and mean things to people. And I spoke to my dad and I says, is it true? And he says, is what true? I said, you're never going to walk again? He said, where'd you hear that? About the time mother and the doctor walked in, what are you doing here? And my dad says, I don't give a beep. What you write down your clipboard. I'm going to get out of this bed. I'm going to walk again and I will climb poles again. And he did until he retired in 1972. So from 54 to 72, he went back and climbed poles. And I just admire that in him. And I look at the things that he overcame in his life compared to some of the things I've had to face in my life. I would not trade my life for his for nothing on planet Earth. I mean, because he was just a real rock solid kind of a person. He didn't run from anything. And that's one thing that's important about being a leader. Admit when you're wrong, face the things that you don't want to face, because we've all done it.
And all goes back, be a human. We are a human, so we will do mistakes. We will fail. Whatever failure means to you. And then just admit it, be honest. And this is also what I said, walk your talk. You are walking, you are doing the stuff. You're going to make a mistake, admit it. And people can relate. I'm not perfect. When my leader is showing me that I can make a mistake, it encourages me to take more risks and take the ownership for being a leader at that moment, at the position where I am, because I also believe that leader can be a doorman, steward, waitress, the cash person in Walmart, whoever you are. If you are taking responsibility for what you do at the moment, you are a leader.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially in your family with little ones, and even little ones that are not related to you, they look up to you, and you could be a very positive role model to them. And that is the basic form of leadership, is being a positive role model. That's the foundation. And, it just amazes me how many times that, people who don't want to admit, or they try to camouflage and hide their faults or shortcomings. Because here on live TV, there's been many, many, many times you folks out there in TV land that watch the show know that there are certain words I can't pronounce. I don't think those things were created to be pronounced, to be honest with you. And sometimes when I mispronounce a word, I'll just say, well, I think I mispronounced that correctly the first time. And then I'll say, I've actually got a degree that says I can mispronounce words correctly the first time, every time. And just make a joke out of it, because, it's just laugh at yourself. People love laughter. And if they see that you can make a mistake, goof up and laugh at yourself and not take it seriously, they respect that.
Yes, and trust you more, because you are real. And it's what leadership is about. It's about influence, not authority, right?
Oh,
you influence them to be themselves, and maybe this time something went wrong, but
Mhm.
what you learn from it and move on and just make it right.
I'd like to ask you a question here about your website there, beatalifecoaching.com. When someone goes there, what would they see or know about you, or what do you know? Just share with us what your website's about.
Well, this is one of my website. As I mentioned, the other was in the making. But
Mhm.
on this website, you can find a lot of information about me, where I came from, why I do what I do today, and how
Mhm.
you can approach me. So it's
Mhm.
all what you need to know.
Mhm. Absolutely. And if someone wanted to get in touch with you, just for a little counseling, like for a complimentary counseling, how could they get in touch with you?
The best way is to just email me, and I can say my email, or I can send it to you, whatever you prefer.
Oh, just send
And
it to me in private chat, and I'll put it in
okay,
there. Mhm.
all right.
Yeah.
Or they can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yeah. Well, she's typing in her email address there. I'll make a banner for it, ladies and gentlemen. But it's really important whenever you're going to speak to someone, make sure you speak from the heart. And you want to connect with them from your heart to their heart. Too many speakers, well, maybe not too many, but a lot of speakers, I can say that, they want to speak directly to your pocketbook. and, uh, which reminds me, she's getting that ready for me. Um, on Monday, I had Rennie Gabriel on Wealth on Any Income. This coming Monday, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting a series. Now, listen to this here. This may be of interest to some of you folks out there in TV land. They're going to take me, when I say they, Mike Wolf is going to be with us. Rennie Gabriel is going to be with us. We're going to do this on a series on Mondays. We don't know how long it's going to go. We really don't, because they're going to take a guy like me, and I can't even spell real estate. Okay. And they're going to show me how I can get a house without any money out of my pocket. And I thought, well, I can afford that. You know what I mean? And they're going to show us how you can do that. And we're going to be open and honest about everything. What went well, the lessons learned, what I did right, where I goofed up, whatever, because this is a learning process for me. It'd be a learning process for a lot of people out there. Then, after we do that, guess what? Listen up. We're going to bring in people from out there in TV land, and we're going to do the same thing for you. And it won't be no cost to you whatsoever. We'll put you on TV. And my goodness gracious, Beat, I think that's going to be of interest to a lot of people. What do you think?
I think it would be amazing. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
cannot
we've
wait.
we've already got our first lady picked up for the class. Rennie recommended her. She's a single mom, and she's been working. Trying to. She had 2 children. She lost one, but bless her heart, she works 2 jobs or 3 jobs, whatever it is. Rennie's helping her, and it's just amazing how we'll be able to take her on that journey, and from there she will be able to start just like me, and she will be able to flip a house or flip a, we're going to do something with real estate. I don't know. I told them, hey, that's you guys' arena. I'm going to provide this studio, the TV show. You guys provide the real estate, and we're just going to go from there. And it's just a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to do that and be able to have this lady on the show. Plus, we're going to start, having people to send in their names to be the next one. We're going to do it on the first Monday of every month. We're going to select a person. And then the following first Monday of every month, we'll give an update. Hopefully, they've already flipped the house, if not, or turned their real estate into money or whatever. But we're going to start a new one every first Monday of the month. And I'm pretty excited about that. And I think a lot of people will really appreciate that. It really will. I know it's going to be a great thing. Okay, there's Beata's email address. Just email her at beatalifecoaching.com, and I should have made that a little bit bigger. Good help's hard to find. But Beata, how does that sound to you for us to bring in people like that on the first week of the first Monday of every month and do that?
That sounds great. That is
Yeah.
amazing. Wow.
Have you ever been involved in real estate and something like that?
Nope.
I haven't either. And what really got us talking about this? This is how things happen when you're doing the right thing. I want to share this, if I may. I called Rennie to tell him about the dandelion tea, what I'd done all the research about the heart, okay? Because he's got a heart condition. We're both 74 years of age. And Rennie and I got to talking, and I don't know how it migrated to that, but I told him about one time I was in Tucson, Arizona.
Mm.
I attended a free seminar, right? Little did I know, they must have saw me coming. It's free to come, but they want you to pay to get out of that place. And it was a high pressure sales pitch on buying a program.
I hate that.
I do too. I do too. And I'm going to say one other thing, real quickly. Make sure anything you offer it 100% money back, no hassle guarantee. Okay. Because if someone buys a product or service from you and they're not happy, you don't want them to be stuck with that.
Absolutely.
Give them their money back. Anyway, I'm sitting there and all I'm hearing is this strong close. I'm going like, well, I still haven't really learned what I came here for, and I thought, well, and this is my advice always. If it's a good deal today, it's going to be a good deal tomorrow. So take a deep breath and relax and sleep on it. And they were just, the price is going to go up. You walk out the door, the price is going to go up, And I'm thinking, man, so you're right. I'm thinking, well, I don't know about this. So I got up. And of course, they got the center doors in the back where everybody went out. And if you're looking from the front to the back, over on the right-hand side was the tables or where they had all these programs, these little boxes you could buy. And there was a man and a woman standing there in business, attire. And so I get up and I walk out on the outside wall on the left-hand side. And I got to turn to go for the door. And I'm trying to sneak out the door without them seeing me. And I kind of glanced over at them out of the corner of my eye. And they were both standing there. And I kid you not. They were looking at me. They did not say a word, but their body language, they looked at me like, you must be some kind of stupid.
Wow.
And I felt about that high. So ladies and gentlemen, remember one thing. People may not remember what you say, but they will certainly remember how you made them feel.
Yes.
And Rennie says, hey, why don't we put on a show about that? I said, about that? He said, no, about us buying some real estate and selling some real estate without any money. I said, well, I can afford that. So that's how it all came about. But notice how that got generated was because I called Rennie to tell him about dandelion tea. Compassion from my heart. And that's the key to success because, Beata, I'm going to let you talk about this. I know for a fact you've done good things from the bottom of your heart that just blossom into other things that were unexpected.
Yes, because, when you do it from your heart, it comes back. It comes back to you. The good comes back to you. And I guess I was just raised that way, that if you don't have good intention, don't offer anything because it's just not gonna help the person that you intend to help, and it will turn against you anyway. And my soul doesn't want to carry that responsibility. So yeah.
I hear you. I know exactly what you're talking about that because it's so important for, to be able to realize that you have the responsibility to treat someone the same way that you would like them to treat you if the shoe was on the other foot.
Absolutely.
And, we've talked a little bit about, where you came from and, how did you really get in? What was the catalyst behind you becoming, say, I've got a story I want to tell, because everybody's got a story. Your story is very unique. You came from Poland. You overcame a tragic uh, injury, TBI, I guess you may call it, or whatever. And you rose from that. You did not let that define you or own you. And because you made that decision, you just seem to blossom and go and grow. Because think about that, folks. This little girl came from Poland and she's had Les Brown on her show. And I call Les Brown and I can't even get a busy signal.
Oh, wow.
It's true.
Well, it's just like you said, it's decision. Like
Yeah.
I when I came to US, even it wasn't easy. Like you said, like I thought my English was perfect. It wasn't. I had all kinds of challenges, and other people, they go through the same challenges, but they just
Mhm.
go through them differently. They handle them differently, so the perception that we have about events is different. And for
Mhm.
me, I made decision that that challenge is not gonna break me. I'm gonna stand up, stand tall,
Mhm.
and gonna move on and do
Mhm.
what I came here to do. And other people might have different perception, might say, oh, poor me, it's not for me,
Mhm.
I'm not good enough, and they
Oh, yeah.
go back to their comfort zone, right? And
Mm.
it's not what leaders do. Leaders go out of their comfort zone,
Mhm.
because everything what is good is on the other side of your comfort zone usually, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
and it's what I did. I just keep walking and kept falling. And then when you fail, you have to, as Les Brown says, if life puts you down, remember to lay down on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up and
There you go.
keep going.
There you go. And I've
Yeah.
got to give a little shout out to a guy that helps us along here in the show. Mr. You may have heard of this gentleman. I know you have. Beata, Mr. Bill Heinrich.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, The Seven Levels of Truth. This is his book on Amazon. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to share with you the very top part of the back here, because I want you to listen to the words that Bill's written here. He says, this book is for anyone seeking answers, solutions, and success in life. Your birthright is to have abundance, love, peace, and joy. The seven levels of truth will allow you to achieve all of these results in your life. And what Beato is saying there too is that you've got to remember you are worthy to be loved. You need to love yourself first. Then you can love others and let go of all of the things in this life that's physical, that snag on you and drag you down. Because those kind of things are like barnacles on a ship. All they do is slow it down as it's going through the waters. And you just need to let go of the things that worry you. And because if you can change it, fine. If you can't change it, love it enough or love that person enough, whatever it might be, person, place, or thing, and let it go, because it does not define you. It does not own you. And that's what Beata's been saying several times here during the show in different words. But, you know, her coming to, how many in your family came to the United States when you first came?
I'm just the only one.
She came here all alone. My goodness gracious. That took a lot of guts, didn't it?
But it's also related to that. I grew up during communism, so we couldn't travel, we couldn't do anything. And I think I talked to you back in time about these invisible walls. What
Hmm.
I always like, Mom, where are the walls? Why we cannot move? I can see the walls, because she was saying we cannot go. There are walls. They won't let us pass the walls. I can
Hmm.
see the walls. Where are the walls? And
Mm.
like, when I grew up, I will I will have this whatever magic thing, and I will go through the walls and I will visit the world. And it's what I did. There was no real walls, right?
Hmm.
We just,
Yeah. Yeah.
the imaginary, I mean, the government
Sure.
side. But
Sure.
then when I grew up, I was like, okay, I'm going to see the world.
And I believe your mom was very supportive in that decision, wasn't she?
It's funny because she was very scared for me. She's very emotional, so she cried a lot, but I think deep down she knew that it's my calling and she cannot stop me, and she always was very brave.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, follow your dream.
Amen. It's amazing how when you have a strong parent like that, it helps you along the way. And, it's natural for her to feel that way. You're leaving home, you're going to a foreign country, but yet she knows deep down inside, hey, my little girl's got her head screwed on straight. I know that I know that I know that
Yes.
she's gonna make it. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
just
she received so many calls where I was crying, and you cannot go and, my little baby, you cannot come and hug me, but she was always
Mhm.
there. So
Oh
she was
yeah.
very supportive. Yeah. But then you are on your own and you have to put your big girl pants on and face
Hmm.
the whatever is waiting
Oh
out
yeah.
there.
I've got to ask you one question. Growing up in a land that had all these invisible walls where you were restricted, when you first came to the United States and you realized, hey, I can go north, south, east, or west. I can do, I mean, how did that feel?
It felt amazing. I could go anywhere I want to
Yeah.
travel. I traveled a lot. I till today, I love to travel and see and
Mm. Oh
experience
yeah.
people, right? Because, you know, you can see ocean, and it's all nature is beautiful, but then you have these conversations with everyday people and how brave they are
Oh yeah.
going through life with
Hmm.
whatever they have to face. So I love that
Oh
kind
yeah.
of conversations.
One of the things that really impresses me about visiting with people, there was a gentleman that I knew, and he was up in age. He was in his 80s, and of course, by then he's real mellowed out and easygoing. And if a fly lands on him, he might swat it away or might swat it or whatever. But if not, he's not going to worry about it. But then after he passed away, and they put up his story, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this guy was a heavyweight. I mean, not in the boxing ring or anything like that, but I mean the things that he did. Oh my goodness! Uh, if a challenge came in front of him, first thing he'd do, pick up a sledgehammer and knock it down. I mean, that's just the way he was wired, and he was so successful in life as being a human being. He
Mm.
may not have had a lot of money. I don't know how much money he had. He was okay, but I mean he wasn't filthy rich as we would call it or anything like that. But what he had deep down inside that made him him is the type of stuff that people are made of that everybody wants deep down inside. He had a satisfied mind. He had a peaceful mind. He loved himself. He loved other people. And he didn't let the things of this world
Define
upset him.
him. Yeah,
Yes, and
I
define
love it.
him.
But
Yeah.
if I can go back to this
Sure.
invisible walls, it's what
Mhm.
actually shocked me when I came to US, that there is no walls for people, but they are still feeling that they are trapped between the walls and don't follow their dreams.
Mm. Yeah.
Yes, so I was like, what is stopping you to travel to, because there's, oh my gosh, you travel so much, it's so good, you came from Poland, oh my gosh, that's so brave. Like, and they say I would love to do that too. I said, so what is stopping you? You have
Mhm.
money, you
Yeah.
have job. Oh no, I'm not that brave. Like, oh my gosh, I noticed a lot of people are living between these invisible walls in US as well, even there
Mhm.
is no walls. It's
Oh,
all in
yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's very true. There's a lady that I always got a kick out of listening to, Stephanie Dwayne. Stephanie Dwayne was actually, she was the catalyst behind the 6-minute webinar. A lot of people don't know that. Because
Wow.
me and Don, we were out there in Phoenix, and we were supposed to have more people show up than what we were told. We were told a lot of people were going to show up, and we didn't have that many people. And Don McGrath, I know you know Dandy Don, he came up to me and he said, "Hey Jim, why don't we just put on about a 6-minute, give everybody 6 minutes on stage to do their talk called a 6-minute talk." And we did. And Stephanie just really, she got it. Dawn and I, we didn't get it, even though we set the thing up, but she got it. And she told us several times, she says, when are you guys going to start creating a course about that 6-minute talk? And we was kind of like, well, okay, we hadn't thought too much about it. And she says, I call that my ATM machine, because she says she's a clinical hypnotist and she helps people. And she says, if I'm talking to someone about losing weight, I'm going to just talk to people that's interested in losing weight, not about quit smoking, not about, the other things that, the smorgasbord or the buffet, because people want to zero in on, if they're interested in your topic as far as losing weight, the people who want to lose weight are in.
Yeah.
And the people like me and like you who are not maybe good clients or clients that would want to be considered for losing weight, we're out of there, and that's the beauty of it. And so she was the catalyst behind that, and she was the one that kept prodding us, and we created it. Or Bill and Don were the creators of it, and they drafted me to go along with them. But the thing of it was, she gets on stage out there in Phoenix, and she stops and she looks at everybody, and the whole room is quiet because we don't know what she's going to say. Okay. And she says, do you realize every person in this room is capable of committing murder? I'm like, oh, okay. But see, she has that ability to shock you, reach out and grab the crowd. And then she went into why she made that comment. Because we really don't know how strong we are. Because if someone is threatening us, and we're forced to come out of our comfort zone. See, that's what Beata's talking about there. People talk about the walls, they can't do it. They just don't want to come out of their comfort zone. That's what it is. They're just, forgive me, I'll just say it. They're just chicken to come out of their comfort zone. And they really shouldn't. They should, they should try it. Because like on the bucket list, we hear a lot about people talking about their bucket list. And usually it's going on a vacation or cruise or something like this. But the main thing in life is don't ever let the sun set on you without you doing what you want to get done that day, even though it's the little bitty things, not the big things, the little things. And that's so important, because then you start training your brain that you are going to accomplish the little things. And when you do the little things, guess what happens with the big things? They come together.
And it's what leaders do. They educate themselves and train themselves train their mindsets to go step farther out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. And with anything we've shared today, especially about the real estate thing that's coming up in the future, or any question or comment, be sure and email us here at the TV station at inspiration@e360tv.com, because our staff will get it to the proper person and you will get a response. And because we're very appreciative of people that, write into us, and we're very grateful for it too, because it's so important for you to take advantage of an opportunity. When an opportunity comes your way, take advantage of it, because, Beata, I believe that's a signal that you were the one that's been assigned that opportunity from a higher source. I believe that.
I believe that too, The higher source just, say, here you are, open the doors, and you can stay there or you can go through. And I rather to go through and see what is on the other side.
Oh yeah, because every experience you're going to learn something, and it's going to make you more of a complete and whole person. It really will. And in talking about Bill Heinrich, Bill is a guy that took 30 years in creating that book, and he was he says very openly. He said, I was a millionaire when I was 32. I was broke when I was 33. And he had to walk away from his life because he didn't like the person that he was. The only thing he took with him was his name. And it took him 30 years to create the 7 levels of truth. This is actually the second edition of this wonderful book, and it's on Amazon. And my point being is that imagine how you would feel sitting in the audience, and I've heard Bill talk about this several times on stages, his journey of how he was a failure. He didn't like himself, and he walked away from his life. And the only thing he took to find himself was just his name. That's a guy that I think everybody can relate to. And that's the kind of guy that can inspire all of us to, come out of our eggshells, come out of our comfort zones, and at least try. I use a baseball analogy because I used to play baseball back when I was a young guy. Not anything, where they pay you money. I wasn't that good. Wish I would. And my dreams, I could smack it out of any park, including Yellowstone. But realistically, think about baseball players when they get up to the plate. If they've got a 350 batting average and can hit home runs and extra bases and all that, that's a Hall of Fame career. But see, what we don't realize is that is 350 hits out of 1,000 times at the plate. So that means 650 times at the plate, they're either going to strike out, get called out on strikes, get thrown out, or fly out, or whatever. But they don't focus on that. The fans don't focus on that. They focus on the 350 batting average.
Yes.
And that's where it is. So what is your batting average in life? I'll guarantee you, if you apply yourself and just use your God-given talents and your abilities, it's better than 350. I'll guarantee you that. I believe that. I really do. And Beata, we're winding a show down. We're getting down to about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you share any final closing thoughts you'd like to with the audience out there.
Well, connect with me. I would love to connect with everyone who's watching us. And if I can be of help, I would love to do that. But be a leader. You, me, Jim, everyone is a leader. Leadership starts in your home community, then in organizations. And if you don't know how to do it, follow the ones that already are there. So everyone can help you who already is walking the path. And if you want to be great leaders, just remember to educate yourself every single day. Take responsibility, walk your talk, communicate effectively with others. And when we talk about communication in leadership, the first and foremost rule of communication is listening. So listen more than you talk. So listen every single day. Listen to your family, your employees. And then go and to get to know the people that you want to lead. Who are they? And be the example.
Oh, yeah, because everybody can teach you a little something. Just make sure that you go to the positive resources available to you. They could be in person, they could be online, whatever, because I subscribe to this little email thing called Nice News, NICENEWS.com. And they send in always positive stuff because I'm sick and tired of the doom and the gloom and all that. I don't even listen to that anymore.
Yeah, me too.
It's just bad news. It really is. But they'll slip in quotes, and you'll read an interesting quote from someone you've never heard of before. You go like, wow, I like that, And getting positive reinforcements in your mind, especially with all the negative stuff that we see vomited. And that's what it is. It's vomited on society.
Yes.
Meanness, hatred, that sort of thing. But let it go because it does not own you. It does not define you. And ladies and gentlemen, our show is, go ahead.
No, it's what leaders do, right? They listen, they are aware, but they don't get to them to soak into the negativity. They turn and look for positive stuff, and they surround themselves with positive people.
Oh, yeah. I know that all the great leaders do that. Les Brown, Bob Proctor. Well, I'm not laughing at Bob. I was in Orlando getting ready to speak on stage, had on a suit and tie and all that. I come off this elevator. I rode down with a couple of ladies, and one of them says, they were elderly, and they says, "Excuse me, sir. Are you Bob Proctor?"
That's true. You are very, very looking like him.
And I said, "No, I'm not Bob. I'm Bob's little brother, Jim. He had the flu and couldn't make it." "Oh, I'm so sorry." I said, "Ma'am, I'm just teasing you." because I was so caught up in my thoughts on what I'm going to say when I get on stage, and sometimes blending in a little humor always helps. But
I studied with Bob Proctor too. He's very,
Mhm.
very good man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, really is. And I tell you, he did a lot of good for a lot of people. And there's a lot of people that, you can look to for leadership and for guidance and for positive reinforcement in life, because we all need that.
But
Well,
when you say this positive, because people are very like the positivity is twisted these days. They think that you have to be happy all the time and
oh no, no. Yeah,
pretend. No, we are
yeah.
talking about being a real
Yeah,
positive, but not faked.
yeah,
Being positive is about
yeah.
searching for the things that are
Mhm.
real and you can handle
Oh yeah.
them and what you can do about them. So looking for solution, not the problem, but also be
Mhm.
realistic what you can do about that.
Oh, yeah, because sometimes in life, you just gotta take a deep breath and relax and let the slack come out of the chain so you can pull your load. I mean, that's just the way the world turns. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our time is just about all gone. We just want to close the show. We want to thank you for tuning in today and being with us today on behalf of Beata. Thank you so much for being with us. She's our new host here. You'll be seeing her more often here from time to time. But make sure that you embrace the fact that you are worthy to be loved. Love yourself first, then you can love others. And love yourself enough to give yourself grace. Because many times we forgive others, but it's kind of hard for us to forgive ourselves because we punish ourselves thinking, well, we should have done better or we should have known better. Let that go. Be sure and enjoy yourself. And also, on behalf of Beata and myself, we sincerely hope that you and your loved ones are blessed in all areas of your life with good health. And thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you so much. And Beata, I'm going to give you a chance to say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you, everyone, and I hope to see you again soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.